Hello. Hello, and welcome everyone back to Psycholonials. It has been a week once again. Boy, has it been a week. I am in the thick of three of my biggest final projects. But on the plus side, that does mean this term is ending soon. And I enjoy that fact. So before we hop into Psycholonials today, we do just have a quick check-in with the Troubled Cosmos Twitter, which updated for April Fools. So this was where we last saw this thread. Seems like a steep price to pay, but a year from now you'll be sitting in your mansion bragging to your friends that you were able to buy them so cheap, thousands of dollars for pullover sweaters. And these are probably fake, given that this came out on April 1st. But maybe people are just like this. I wouldn't be surprised if someone actually did just spend $845 on a t-shirt. Such a joy to look through the Redbubble sales reports, blown away by all the positivity and support for Troubled Cosmos. Just wow. Thank you, Andrew. At first I was skeptical of Troubled Cosmos and thought shirt was too expensive, but I saw how the line keeps going up and now understand the wisdom of this great investment. Nervous Arnold is my favorite because he looks very nervous. Great character design. I can't wait to see how high the line goes. And attached pictures are an emoji face screaming "Let's fucking go" and 3 rocket ships. We continue forward. We get... Oh, hold up. Let me copy this into the document. If you're watching this on the YouTube, all of the links that are shown on screen today, pages shown on screen in the web browser, will be linked in the description. And we continue to Ryan North. You can always count on Ryan North to hype a new brand. If you don't have a friend like Ryan, then you don't even know what friendship is. I love the first Hank Soldier shirt I bought so much, I just had to buy 10 more. Like I've always said, the true test of friendship is whether or not you're willing to buy your pals $1,000 t-shirts. Isn't whether or not you're willing to buy... What? Is not. Oh my god, I can fucking read. Hello, Writhing Laku. Yeah, these are customer purchase notes. Are they real? Debatable, since these were published on April 1st. Even if they weren't, it would still be debatable, because this whole thing is a giant fucking joke, but... Indeed. I love the first Hank Soldier shirt, 10 more. Like I've always said, the true test of friendship is not whether you are willing to buy your pals $1,000 t-shirts, it's how many you are willing to buy. Thanks a million, buddy. I will literally never be caught in public for the rest of my life without my boy Hank here emblazoned on my chest. Total sale $10,000. I have some doubts about all of these. Hi, Aleph. In this economy, you have to get creative with your sales strategy sometimes. Hard to say no to a deal like this. Why has no one thought of this business idea before? Someone's purchasing and of course this is could not possibly be true, 1 million pullover hoodie of Jabroni Hutchinson for $1,695,750,000. Note from customer. Per our conversation the other day, please wire 90% of this purchase revenue to the foreign bank account. List payment in records as business consulting services. Thank you, and great job with Troubled Cosmos. All of your original characters are very nice. So, these are pretty obviously not true, but happy April Fools. There's your Troubled Cosmos update for the week, I guess. Let's get that game open. Let's go to the thing that people are actually here to see. Ooh, what does updating ticket mean? I opened the game through Steam and it said it was updating ticket. Jeff Bezos likes himself some jabroni Hutchinson. Yeah, I mean, seriously, who the fuck else would have that kind of money to blow? I mean, you know, we could actually list the number of people. But, yeah. God. I'm gonna have some water while this game's loading. Oh, of course, the moment I say that, the game loads. But yes. Whew, so, Psycholonials. We are here today for Chapter 7 of 9. We are ever so slowly but surely reaching the end of this journey. Which, yes, 'tis also worth mentioning. I lost my train of thought for a split second, but we're back. I need more sleep. Next weekend, there will not be a stream because there's no new chapter of Psycholonials. And the following weekend, there may be Homestuck reread again. You know what? Yes, there will be Homestuck reread again. Fucking 413, baby. But yeah, that's my last week of classes. So all of my final assignment is due Friday that week. So yeah, things will be coming back online soon. But for now, we're just doing good old Psycholonials. And we are on Chapter 7. Hello, Noah. Noah, I don't know how much of Psycholonials you've seen before, and whether or not you will be very confused. Chapter 7 of 9. It never even stood a chance, and we linger even longer on the opening page as we watch that sword of Damocles slip closer and closer to matching up with the constellation. And it gets real fucking close this time. It's most of the way covering. It's most of the way there. Do I remember Carl Squared? No? Should I? Should I remember who this is? But nothing's coming to mind at the moment. It's like a bit of the first one. Okay. Things escalate exponentially every chapter, so you may or may not be very confused, but it'll be an interesting journey. So, last chapter ended with... Okay. Just fighting through brain fog today. Last chapter ended. We finally meet Ring 3. We got Jacqueline, who's trying to, seems like she's trying to gun for the top spot. And we find out that Jacqueline, is good old Candace Schmandis, who was one of the first people who canceled Z and ripped them to shreds those years ago. So, that was the revelation we left off on. Z's eternal rage. And now all of a sudden it is 1 month later, so let's see what has conspired. Canadian cartoon? I guess I did not encounter it. After another month is swallowed into the dystopian 2020 abyss, the march towards social media supremacy continues unabated. Last week, you leapfrogged over Katy Perry. Today, you just slid past Miley Cyrus. Both accounts took 7 years to reach their marks, while yours only took 3 months to surpass them. Yes, we're at 113 million followers now. Hi, Phoenix. Time is progressing at a constant rate, somehow. Biangle, woo, thank you for the raid. Hello, welcome. We just got started. The woman you just eclipsed, Miley, has been outspokenly critical of law enforcement through her platform. But as far as you're aware, she's never personally ended the life of an officer or given the orders to execute an entire precinct. Pathetic, really. Hello, Recursive. Hello, Caressio, as well. Hello. Welcome. Yes, welcome to the circus. And it's the little touches like this which makes all the difference when it comes to clawing your way to the top. It's a matter of commitment, you think. You've been catching a lot of bitches slipping lately, and rankings have served them notice. So we're seeing, I'm assuming that these were accurate as of July 2020? I think this would be now. You're still on 3 or 4. Okay. Starting to understand things. Yes, getting closer. And here we are back at Abby's. And can I just say, what a look. Like, I think this look fucking slaps. Yes, this fucking outfit, like, holy shit. Excellent. Like, the platform boots, cherry on top. Oh yes, and the haircut is entirely new. Chopped off, got with the old. Yeah, bits of this chapter were in the trailer. Due to resuming control of your empire with your distinct personal touch, life here on the island has stabilized after a rocky start in the days following the evacuation. A few deft political maneuvers have brought stability to your stolen summer colony, but the same can't be said for the rest of the nation, and at this point, many parts of the world as well. The U.S. is becoming increasingly fractured due to many localized Jubilite insurrections, and a great number of police stations across the nation have fallen. Certain regions of America, which now represent unpoliced, demilitarized pockets of Jubilite-controlled territory, have gotten so large, Ring 3 has categorized these parts of the map as Jubilite counties. That is, entire counties in the United States where the majority of all police stations have been commandeered, and the number of counties which qualify has been making everyone in the government extremely nervous. The drip immeasurable, yes. And that is where we are. That little island of, well, what was once known as Nantucket. Nervous enough to begin listening to certain demands you've been making for weeks. In recent days, hostilities in the country have finally started cooling off. This is because of negotiations you just completed, which have resulted in a treaty between the Jubilite movement and the United States government. The treaty grants formal recognition of the island of Nantucket as a sovereign nation, totally independent from the United States, which is now called New Whimsify. The mainland agrees to keep the power running and all the naval blockades lifted so you can continue supplying the island with needed resources. In exchange, you've agreed to a non-aggression pact with the US and have publicly called for a nationwide cessation of hostilities from your Jubilite militias. Oh, the US Capitol was on that? I don't know why I thought the US Capitol was on the West Coast. I think that's because I'm mixing up Washington State and Washington, D.C. I guess I don't actually know where the fuck Washington, D.C. is. Oops. The trio on the coast? You mean like over here? These three? Like this little, on this little kind of vaguely phallic outcropping? Just to the left is a thick black outline in the middle of a bunch of this? Is it this little blotch here? Is that the Capitol? Okay. Yeah, so it appears to be surrounded by areas where there is no heavy Jubilite activity reported as of yet. Big city more than a state, but not quite a state. Yeah. No more capturing police stations, and no more expansion of Jubilite County territory. For now. Your movement has been seeping into the fabric of global politics as well. Certain nations have started showing signs of instability as the insurrections dominated by clowned up faces have swelled to enormous sizes around the world. While such volatility has stalled in the United States due to your treaty, it's only been picking up steam in other nations. You've begun to lose track of what's happening where, since there's so much to observe all at once, and you've got your hands full with domestic matters. Oh my god, yeah. But what hasn't gone unnoticed to you is the broader cultural phenomenon it's become in such a short period of time. Many celebrities are outwardly identifying as Jubilites now, both feeling emboldened by the political strength of the movement and enticed by the fashionable statement it's become to clown up in solidarity with the rebellious spirit of your manifesto. So, obviously we have, Obama and J.K. Rowling not feeling it. But fucking The Rock, Justin Bieber, Miley Cyrus, and Ariana Grande all clowned up. And how could we forget Post Malone? Oh, you confused Rowling with Clinton? Yeah, Rowling and Clinton would be in the exact same spot on that triangle. They would have the exact same views about the Jubilite movement. I have very little doubt of that. Hussie looks like clowns will control the government at the highest level. Mm-hmm. Most of these people you could hardly give a fuck about, but you're flattered nonetheless. However, you were floored when you heard Post Malone himself was hopping into your tent. He even got some new clownish face tattoos to mark his newfound dedication to your cause. You have no idea if he found out what a huge fan of his you are, but you think you'd die of embarrassment if he knew. Yeah, fucking tattoos, permanent shit. Which would be funnier if Obama or Rowling. Not only the clown, but the entire circus. Yeah. Oh my god. That's a crucial question. I don't know which one it would be. Funnier. Her name is Just Kidding. Oh my god. J.K. Rowling. Fucking clown Sona named Just Kidding. That's too much. Okay, that decides it. It would be funnier if it was J.K. Rowling, but only if she's the clown Sona named Just Kidding. Sometimes you wonder if Abby sent him a sneaky message behind your back to lure him into the fold. You'd fuck her up if you found out she did that. Speaking of which, it seems Abby has managed to use her newfound celebrity influence to climb the ladder to her own faves. She's now in contact with their leader, Namjoon, who seems incapable of going more than 15 minutes without mentioning. And when you start getting wind of a decidedly familiar-sounding movement picking up steam in South Korea, with everybody's 7 favorite boys at the helm, you naturally assume Abby used her wiles to convert them to your cause. But to your surprise, Abby didn't have to do much. But to your surprise, Abby didn't have to do much strong-arming at all. Turns out you already had more in common than you thought. Apparently the boy band was curious about what all the commotion in America was really about, and Abby was more than happy to cut through the media play and walk them through it. She befriended Namjoon, and after many extensive dialectics about justice and the perils of capitalism, it seems the boys were inspired to start a revolution on their own terms. According to what you're hearing on the news, they've already managed to take over their entire entertainment studio, completely ousting the previous ownership. And in their new position of political leverage, they're galvanizing the people of their own nation to stand up for positive social change. They seem to have an inordinately principled aversion to murder, which leaves you a bit pessimistic about the ultimate efficacy of their methods. But you'll leave them to play the game they want, the way they want. For now. That for now again. Oh, there's foreshadowing here. What's it called? Yeah. I'm just gonna keep reading. Foreshadowing. Indeed, it appears as if a global movement is fermenting in the wake of the Jubilite uprising. Like in South Korea, parallel movements are cropping up across the world. Some of these insurrections are being waged explicitly in your name, while some are undoubtedly the unique product of the political conditions of those particular regions. But whatever banner they fly, the people of the world are rising in a tide. Love how the movement in South Korea has Abby posters instead of Z. Yeah. Stuff of the phrasing. Oh yeah. Yeah. Very suspicious phrasing. Meanwhile, it's finally time for another formal debriefing. It's been a full month since your last one, when you delegated control of advanced pranksys to the rising star in the organization, Jacqueline. There's Mr. Hussie with his limo. Oh my god, I love this panel so fucking much, because, okay, you got Z rocking their sick new look. You got D. Clussy, the man himself, the person himself, opening the car door for Mizzlebiff, who's stepping out. You know, they're all stepping out like fucking celebrities. And the car door outline is fucking block pixel like it's actually 3D fucking cubes. Like, it seems like it would take more effort to get that perspective correct than to just, like, draw it smoothly or properly or something. I don't know. I just, like, the fucking door. Oh yeah, and it's a shitty face paint job. True, oh my god! You can see fucking Homestuck Andrew Hussie orange underneath the face paint! Oh, I didn't realize that before! They should teach this panel in art class. Yes, Vivian Dev, hello, welcome, and yes. Liked it as much as you did. Yeah, it's fucking amazing. Didn't notice, yeah, I didn't notice that either. I just kind of took it for granted because of fucking of course, right? But like, holy shit. Oh, God. I would actually thoroughly enjoy a more in-depth walkthrough of how exactly he did the art and art style stuff for this. Because, like, purposefully pixelating everything and playing around with the size of pixels and stuff and, like, you know, JPEG artifacts, like, it's so fucking cool. But I don't know how to do that stuff on purpose in Photoshop. Yeah. Easy to read. Yeah, like just fucking pixelated image of a car door. But no, he did this. Extruded it in Blender? Maybe. I don't know what those words mean, but I'm gonna trust that you know what they mean and that it is definitely possible. But, yeah, I think I could probably figure out some of this stuff. I think part of the issue would be that my version of Photoshop is old as fuck, and I can't turn, and it has no switch to turn off anti-alias on the transform tool, so I can't really get it to pixelate things. Whole comic is doused with special Stardust glitter. Yes. Extrude. Oh, like add another dimension in 3D. Yeah. Okay. Yes. That does make sense. Pardon me. Pardon me. Y'all, I got so much fucking homework to do after this. It's fine. We're good. We're set. It's good. I'm gonna finish this fucking project after stream today. Okay. I gotta finish the stream first, so I gotta keep reading. But you haven't been to a briefing since, because you didn't want to make a habit of those meetings. Too much ass-kissing, too much micromanagement of stuff you can't be bothered with, and you've been way too busy with high-stakes diplomacy anyway. You just allowed her the slack to develop these projects on her own, while you keep a close eye on her. Meanwhile, it's finally time for another formal deep... Oh, I wasn't looking at my keyboard and I pressed the wrong button. That is the right direction. Y'all, the brain power right now, it's a little bit low, but we'll get through it. And it looks like she's made the most of that slack. The roster of Ring 3 appears to have dramatically expanded under Joculine's administration. A whole lot of new clown faces here, but that's not too surprising. If there's one thing you've learned to never be surprised by, it's the unrelenting accrual of new clowns. More clowns than you could possibly ever know what to do with. Actually, I'm gonna have some water before I start into this enthusiastic reading. Yes, let me get that wonderful Joculine theme fading in. Noah? No. I will not. I will not satisfy your whim to make fun of how I pronounce things. That one clown limo to hold 3 clowns? Maybe? They didn't really show anyone else getting out of it, but they could have fit more of them in there. Okay. Biangle! Why must you betray me? Alias. There. I said the funny word. Okay. Now I'm going to say more funny words that Joculine is saying on the screen. Z, what a pleasure it is to see you make an appearance at our headquarters. It's been too long since I've had the honor of briefing you in person. And may I just say, the diplomatic work you've been doing has been remarkable, Z. Thanks, but you really should be referring to me as Supreme Hawk Effects. Oh, yes! I am so sorry. A slip of the tongue. It will never happen again. Now, may I lead you inside so I can begin with the briefing? My advanced Pranksis division has been making some incredible strides lately. No, let's stay outside. Could use the fresh air. Just follow me and say whatever you want to say. Z is still very suspicious. Mizzlebip cameo, yes. Mizzlebip, I think, is gonna be a big part of the next chapter because they are like tailing Z through this whole ordeal. And they had that like one scene in the trailer. So like, I think that they're gonna be a bigger part in the next chapter. Z is getting increasingly... Z is... Yeah. Z is, not moving in a great direction. Time skip directly from Z. Hating the title to insisting on it. Yeah, it's been a month, but odd. I feel like it's something that they decided to do to try and put more distance between themselves and Joculine, to kind of like a power play. Because when that last meeting we saw, they were like, fuck formalities, like, just call me Z. Ugh. But now that they know who Joculine is, it's kind of like, almost like before this whole meeting starts, reminding Joculine just who the fuck is in power here. That's kind of how I saw that. Theory, Z isn't actually insisting on the title, just trying to make the conversation harder to Joculine. Oh, yeah. I was not looking at chat. And you said the thing I was thinking. Yes. Itching at the back of your mind, but you never thought to comment on it during the stream. Yeah, Mizzlebip I think is going to be more in the next chapter. But, yeah. Power moves. Conclude with the biggest power move of all. Okay. Time for a long Joculine monologue. First, may I say, if it ever appears that I condescend to describe the tenets of advanced Pranksis to their author, it is only for the purpose of fully elaborating on them for a wider audience, such as this gallery of rogues here. Who knows how well read these chuckle fucks are in the Jubilite theory, am I right? I kid, of course. We're all friends here, and we like to joke around. That's what's so good about this movement, don't you think? We keep things light and humorous, while other ideologies just get so stuffy and self-important. Not us, though. Right. Just wanted to make it clear that any over-explaining I may do is simply for the sake of providing a well-rounded presentation to all, yes? That said, let's take it from the top. Advanced Pranksis. The more elite ranks of the Jubilite movement have already been introduced to these teachings. It's still being kept from the masses, at your discretion, of course, so as not to alert our targets to our methods too blatantly. And they're making a journey from the front of the building around to what appears to be a tennis court on the side. But there will come a time when these ideas will permeate the global Jubilite movement to maximize their effect. Soon, I imagine. When it is clear enough to the world that there is no turning back, and I would hazard that the recent work you have done securing the sovereignty of New Whimsify puts us closer to that moment than ever. So what is it we are doing? The core of these principles is quite simple. It relies on the premise that in order to destroy evil systems of overwhelming power, there is no tactic whatsoever that should be off the table. Everything the bastards are capable of doing to advance their goals, we are capable of doing too, and we must. So if the rich and powerful use their staggering wealth to entrench themselves in their positions of supremacy, then if we are also able to accumulate similar amounts of wealth, which we have thanks to your brilliance, this means it isn't merely a good idea to use the levers to attack their power. It means we are obligated to use them. It is, in fact, the only way to defeat them. To abide more honorable practices would be to cede advantages to them which are counterproductive to us and wholly undeserved to them. And so, empowered thusly by our supreme honk effects, about a month ago I went to work with various channels of the most resourceful Jubilites I could find, not to mention the ones with the least scruples about getting their hands dirty. Good people, really. A dutiful ensemble of particularly salty clowns who just want to make the biggest difference possible. Like me. So let's begin with an example of how one might use such levers. It's well known among upper echelons of our organization that Secretary Apple Pie herself targeted her own parents in a bold initial implementation of Pranksus. But the success of that approach, while phenomenally instrumental in jump-starting this movement, fell far short of total success. They've managed to secure most of their assets. So, what other options exist? And then, just an aside, always with the subtle jabs at Abby. So, what other options exist? Well, one of the most direct tactics spelled out by Supreme Honk Effects is to apply assets towards legitimate acquisitions. A relatively small financial firm handles all their money, and once you have billions of dollars in the bank, the question becomes, can't you just outright buy certain companies, take control of them, and then begin to manipulate them to your advantage? Why not? Billionaires and corporations everywhere do this all the time. Buy out competition or purchase smaller, inconvenient companies simply to strip them and destroy them, or absorb smaller companies into bigger ones after retrofitting them to suit new purpose. This can work, and we have had success with that approach in a few cases. The problem is that it's a bit slow and very much involves operating within the legal boundaries of a complex system in order to inflict damage on said system. There are much faster ways, and that's when things get more fun. As our Supreme Honk Effects rightly points out, can I just pause for a moment and say, like, we already talked about Z's new outfit, but, like, the outfit plus the pose here, excellent. Bonus, love the one in the background who's wearing a shirt that literally just says anime on it. As our Supreme Honk Effects rightly points out, why go to the expense and bother of purchasing a company when you can simply compromise many of the people who are already running it? It's so much faster that way, and it cuts through a lot of red tape. Many of the people working in these financial firms are a bunch of spineless nerds who, while used to handling the amount of money we're talking about, are not used to actually being paid that much. This makes them highly susceptible to bribery, while their spinelessness makes them susceptible to acts of intimidation and coercion. And if you run into some guys who are afraid of the law, that's where a good exit package can help. Just dangle a few million in front of a greedy coward, along with some plane tickets to somewhere in South America, some new identity papers, whatever it takes. And then you have someone who is suddenly very cooperative in helping you move a few billion in assets around. But sometimes even all of that isn't quite enough to get results. Sometimes you have a couple of really tough customers who've been fleeced already, and they've already locked everything down. Such as the secretary's parents, for instance. With hard targets like that, there are certain tactics of last resort which can help move things along. If you catch my meaning. She's talking about just fucking murdering people. Ugh. That isn't your call to make. Oh yes, I know that. I wouldn't even dream of greenlighting such a play without your express approval first. I'm just saying, it's always on the table. For any of these depraved capital-hoarding vultures, not just her parents. I was just using them as a convenient example. Ha ha ha. Oh, did AutoMod pick something up? Oh, it's because you... Yeah, it's, your words, oopsie, was writing the words, I am going to kill you. But, oh, Noah Vermont, yeah. Continue showing cold shoulder, that outfit. Mm-hmm. Don't know shit or bug. I mean, like, I could just, like, give you mod powers. I don't know. It's one of those things that's, like, I should probably get around to it eventually, but it's not enough of a issue. I think at this point. I'm kind of okay with AutoMod catching the phrase, I am going to kill you. But, but yeah, yeah, so I'm gonna deny just because I don't want that phrase to, be an approved phrase in my AutoMod system. But yeah, just saying, Biangle just said, I sent the anime clown girl to Wylime Girl from the wiki and was like, this you? And she was like, I am going to kill you. But, yes. Speaking of, killing and murder, this conversation. Yes, a convenient example. So why don't you tell me what's actually been done instead of explaining all my shit back to me? Absolutely! I'll waste no more of your time, Supreme Honkifax. We can all see you must attend to the geopolitical concerns of a higher magnitude than my modest little accounting report, so I shall cut straight to the chase. Jesus. Funny clown jokes, haha. You're distracted by the implication of, murder? First, I should mention, I've been dividing acquisitions over the last month into 2 columns, hard assets and soft assets. Assets, of course, are anything of value. Cash, stocks, bonds, deeds to property, equity of any sort. Hard assets are now under direct control of the Jubilite organization, such as money in one of our bank accounts or property owned by one of our members and offered up to the organization. The total hard assets are now valued at well over $200 billion. Damn. Right? Not bad for a month of advanced pranksis. Tireless, round-the-clock pranksis by yours truly, mind you. But still a nice haul if I say so myself. But it gets better. Soft assets I have defined as those not technically in our possession. These are assets still controlled by outsiders who happen to be seriously compromised by us in some way. This means that in the event it becomes necessary, there is a high likelihood the assets could be transferred over to us. Good night, Noah. Thank you for censoring your swear words on my good Christian stream. Have a good sleep. I'll talk to you later. But yes. I lost my spot. I read this page right. Oh, yes, I did. Okay. Naturally, it's harder to get a concrete tally of these resources, but my estimates have our global soft assets at around $1.5 trillion. That's a lot of fucking money. It sure is. It turns out it's a lot easier to move this kind of money around than you'd think, since there's barely any real footprint to our movement. If we want to quietly transfer stock from a hedge fund into our portfolio, it's just assigned to one of our members, rather than a formal Jubilite entity that's easily traced. We're also counting occupied property as hard assets. That is, any empty house or building our forces have seized and which authorities have deemed too difficult to reclaim. For instance, we have well-armed Jubilites stationed in thousands of empty summer homes in Martha's Vineyard alone. This is billions of dollars worth of property, not even to speak of the value of the entire island on which we stand. Such seizures have been taking place almost everywhere in the world. I must say, it makes accounting estimates difficult. However, I believe you will find my rough figures to be quite reliable. And all these people you compromised to account for the $1 trillion of soft assets. Where are these people? Everywhere! I began targeting the most obvious pressure points of the American economy. The big investment firms, banks and such. But the more I began delegating the generalized principles of advanced pranksis throughout my networks, the more our people began to improvise and target many more entities. There are now thousands of Jubilite operatives working on this. They're squeezing marks in all the big companies. Amazon, Exxon, Facebook. Oh, a lot of people on Facebook, actually. Including Zuckerberg himself, which I don't mind stating with a certain amount of pride. Huh? Really? Trust me, Supreme Honk Effects. We've got this guy by the balls. Nice. Sounds like that should come in handy. Oh, believe me, it already has. It turns out compromising the human resource infrastructure of just about any major corporation yields a wider range of benefits than just increasing the financial fluidity of our movement. Pull the strings on a social media giant, control the narratives more easily. On an energy giant, influence global geopolitics to your advantage. On an entertainment giant, well, you can change a lot of hearts and minds that way, can't you? Unless... What are you getting at here? I've been quite pleased to see Secretary Apple Pie herself taking up the cause of advanced pranksis, totally unprompted and uninstructed. Also, without including me in the loop or coordinating with my networks in any way. Going for Abby again? Are you talking about Abby's K-pop shit? Yes, her excellent work with that Korean group, which is remarkably popular. Somehow, by utilizing the world-renowned status she has achieved through your visionary work, she has convinced the band members to engage in pranks and commandeer the entertainment company they are under contract with. Yeah, I know about this. Yeah, Zucker by the ball. Yeah, she did a very good job going around my authority. Knife emoji. This company made about $500 million in revenue last year, and yet, due to the way the secretary has gone about this, she has not compromised them in a way that will allow our organization to siphon any of that revenue away from the company. That's why it's so important for those engaging in advanced pranks is to stay connected with my network, to make sure we benefit from each operation. I understand that this was a pet project of hers because she admires these particular musicians. Oh my god, and the condescension of referring to it as a pet project? Yeah, it was. I thought she was just fucking around. I'm amazed she got them to actually do it. As am I! Nothing but respect for my secretary. Oh my god, stop. I don't think she compromised them, though. I think they're just doing their own thing. Like, taking control of their own shit and vibing with some of the same anti-imperialist stuff we do. I think Abby's just having fun helping them out is all. And there surely is no harm in having a bit of fun during all this. That's what Pranksis is all about, right? But I also wonder what the exact utility of establishing such high-profile contacts with no intention of exploiting them. Abby would never let us do that. Precisely. Which is why I can't help but feel... What? Here it fucking comes. Well, considering her rank and the influence she holds and the example she could be setting, I can't help but feel that as much as I love everything she has contributed to our movement, that perhaps someone could be occupying her position who possibly contributes a little more to the movement. Tangibly, I mean, in terms of improving the bottom line. Someone who helps bring a strong financial return on all of these advanced Pranksis efforts. You know? God. That one you can't help but feel. Oh. Giving it a think. Well, yeah. I mean, you aren't wrong. The type of person you describe would objectively be a better fit for the number 2 spot. Can't even argue with that. Everything you just said honestly sounds like fucking incredible. Really sensational work. In a month, you got more money coming in than I thought we'd get in, like, years? I guess that's what makes this such a shame. What's a shame? Oh my god. It is so fucking difficult to take this seriously. Okay, it's been... You forgot you said it before because this cutscene is so fucking unnecessarily long and ridiculous, and it makes it incredibly difficult to take anything about this seriously at all. Which I'm sure is the point. But, I wrote down, I'm pretty sure it was going for maybe 5 seconds. Okay, so that was approximately a full minute of throwing the gun around before actually shooting her. And then another whole 30 seconds afterwards. It felt much longer than that. But yeah, so this rip. Oh dear. Wait, what makes this officially a Family Guy gag? Strategic purposes to get her to drop her guard. Oh, true. I hadn't thought of it that way. Peak clan material, indeed. Sort of know that everyone. Ah, yeah. Clown murder confirmed. Oh, it goes on too long. Okay. I guess that makes sense as a qualifying trait of a Family Guy gag. Oh, I guess in that sense, you could also say that it's like a Scrubs gag. God. Where I think I mentioned this like a long while ago, that my family was watching Scrubs, and then it was taken off a streaming service, but now it's back on a streaming service that we have, and we've been watching it now, and we're in like the very late seasons, like season 8 we just started a couple weeks ago, and like, God, Scrubs just like, it gets very bad in the last few seasons. You were so shook by the kill shot, you didn't realize she kept spinning it after that. Oh yeah, it keeps fucking going. Joculine has been ejected 1 anti-roommate. Did Joculine know where it was going? I don't think that she would have expected that Z was gonna point blank. Well, not quite point blank, but like basically point blank shoot her in the head. I do not think she was expecting that at all. It's almost just a version of a character because we don't truly know Joculine's goals, and then she just dies before it becomes clear. It does become clearer. I feel like her gunning to usurp Abby was a pretty clear goal. And it becomes even clearer later on. You think this is the moment that Z will regret the most? Oh no, I think there's a moment later in this chapter that might qualify for that award. But we'll get to that later. We will indeed. The joke landed, and so did the bullet. But yes, here... Oh, goodness. Yeah, I don't think that is what anyone expected to come out of today. Any of these poor fellows. But Mizzlebip doesn't seem as phased as the rest, and I think that's noteworthy. Yeah. Pretty hypocritical of Z to claim to be anti-imperialist when she just iced a bitch. I also love Mizzlebip. I'm a little suspicious of Mizzlebip, though. Like, the quiet character in the shadows, I'm a little suspicious. But, yeah. I mean, like, I didn't comment too much on the actual theory stuff that, Joculine was talking about with Advanced Pranksis. But yeah, there's There's, I feel there are holes to poke in a number of, these particular strategies. Mizzlebip is, like, fucking puppy-eyed, like, with the little heart next to them and everything. Traitors get bullets. Done. Scene. Later. Whew. Oh, it's exactly midnight. Ayo. Which means it's fantastic time to take 5. Give us all a mental break after that. That was a heavy... That was a lot. But I'm going to turn that on. And we're going to take 5. I'm going to take a little stretch. And we'll be back in 5. Hopefully my brain will also return. I feel like every time I go to say a sentence, I have to, like, stop in the middle and think for, like, 5 solid seconds. Anyway. We'll be back. Hello. I forgot to set the timer again. That was a little bit longer than 5 minutes, but still approximately 5 minutes. Let's get the break text off. Boom, boom. Later. We are back. You're seeing Abby's house at nighttime being guarded by some familiar faces. The only one whose name I remember is fucking Spaghetti Feet, standing over on the left-hand side, right above where the arrows are. Hi, Biangle. But yeah, these are all already named fellows. And we will also be able to look at the names for the new members of Ring 3 when we get to the end today. And of course, we're back to, as the previous chapter ended, a wild day and then some wine and dine with Abby and Z. So I guess you must have heard about what happened today. Abs. Abby. Bitch, I'm trying to have a conversation with a normal person. Incredibly, having to spend all day with a bunch of weird ass-kissing clowns makes me feel like I'm losing my mind. Yeah, sorry. I'm just in the middle of an important conversation. Is that your K-pop boy? Yes. How's it going? How's it been going with him? Very good. It still feels surreal to be on speaking terms with one of my idols, though. Guess I can relate. I mean, to him, not to you, lol. Feels like somebody tells me something like that every day now. Yeah, I guess the cult of personality is a powerful thing. It sucks, actually, but yeah. So, you hatching more schemes over there with what's-his-face? Leader boy? Aleph, what the fuck? Joe Biden's psionic warriors. God. What a vision. Oh, Namjoon? Yeah. Well, I think at this point you're just forgetting their names on purpose. Maybe you should cut it out. Didn't you used to hate it when people got your name wrong? Well, yeah, I did, until I changed my name and it stopped mattering. Maybe they should pick cool new names for themselves like me. They did. When BTS was just starting out, Namjoon called himself Rap Monster. Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, never mind then. LMAO. So you got him to hijack his shitty record label. What's next? More pranksis? Yeah, we're talking about a few options. It's crazy the amount of influence they have over what could happen in their country. Probably even more than you have here. Well, yeah, clearly. I'm just an American anti-hero cult figure or something, but enemy number one to the state. Those guys are so benign. Way too much cuck energy to be threatening to anyone, but I'm glad to see you're helping them fuck things up. I'm not really trying to fuck anything up, though. I'm just happy to see them taking full control of their destiny as artists. Still can't get a rat monster? I know. Good God. And I'm barely even doing anything for them. It's all they're doing, really. What about you? Haven't you made inroads with people you admired? I saw that Post Malone is Jubilite now. It sure seems that way. Got some new clown tats and everything. Fucking wild. So why don't you reach out? I can't. I'd just embarrass myself and fangirl out if I talked to him. It'd blow my whole mystique. Besides, I don't think I can in good conscience drag Post deeper into this mess. It would probably destroy the poor guy's life. I'm not saying go mess with him or anything. I bet he would like to hear from you. I know this is all insane and very serious business all the time, but I still think you should try to get in the original spirit of it when you can. You know, try to have fun. Fun? Yeah, right. How can I think about fun? Do you know what I had to do today? Yes, you already tried to ask me, and I was just trying to keep my mind occupied so I don't have to dwell on that stuff. I'm sure you had good reasons for dealing with Joculine that way. You're trying to keep us all alive here, and that probably means making tough decisions. But anything like that, like violent stuff, it really triggers me even thinking about it. So I have to figure out ways to keep myself sane. I know. I don't mean to push it in your face. I never even told you about her because I didn't want to upset you. Told me what? About a month ago, I figured out she was one of the girls who terrorized me after my breakdown a few years ago, and somehow she climbed the ladder as an undercover clown. You juggle the gun for half a minute, that counts as fun, right? I suppose. Oh, geez, that is really scary. I don't even think she had a problem with me after all this time. I doubt she even believed in anything. She never actually cared about my original problematic shit I got canceled for. She just enjoyed using it as an excuse to trash me. And then she saw a chance to get involved with something cool and make herself important, and took it. Wouldn't be surprised if her long game was gunning for my spot, not just yours. I just didn't tell anyone I knew so I could keep a close eye on her. At least it's over. Yeah, but I have to be more careful. What a fucking train wreck all this is. Anyone could be anyone. Really cool of me to build an organization which by definition lets your membership conceal who you really are. Just need a tighter ring, that's all. I got too sloppy. I'm sure you'll figure it out. We've really painted ourselves into a corner here. There's so much danger and we can't really reverse course, so I hope you don't mind if I sink myself into these distractions. Yeah, that's fine. We just vibing tonight. Here, want some? Well, no thanks. I'm good with the wine. You really must be tapping into the dregs by now. How much is that bottle? A couple $100, I think. Oh, I forgot to turn the sound back on. I was like, why isn't there music? Except I forgot to turn the fucking sound back on, that's why. Anyway. Because they're vibing. There's chill music, they're vibing. Oh, no, I just didn't address the Z vape because I knew that it was going to be addressed further in the conversation, which is what's happening now. But yes, the vape is there. Oh, the vape cloud. True. It looks enough like a natural shape that I just didn't even pick up on it. But yes, it is indeed a Z-shaped vape cloud. Nightmare blunt rotation. Would have survived if she wasn't a Lost fan. Yes, we're talking vapes and wine. You really must be tapping into the dregs by now. How much is that bottle? A couple $100, I think? Ugh, ew. Oh, that is the nasty shit. You might as well just go out to the barn and top your glass off with Dave Hasselhoff's dick. Well, it's fine. Anyway, since when did you start blazing it? Since like 1 billion tons of weed started getting smuggled onto the island. Seems like a lot of land is getting adapted to weed farming now. That's cool, I guess. New Whimsify does need an economy after all. Seems like a good export model. Did you order people to do that? Nope. A lot of shit just sorta happens now. I barely have to do anything operational, except preside over the occasional clan execution. Yeah, let's hope that duty stays very occasional. Okay, my hater list is pretty long by now. Oh, please tell me you're joking. What, about doing more clown executions? Yeah, I was joking. But about the list, it's an actual thing. I thought you knew about it. Yeah, I do know. I was hoping you'd just stop keeping up with it at some point. Are you still actually maintaining it? Well, damn it, see? There's just so many fucking people out to get us. Really bad people. It's not even just old shitty haters like Jacqueline anymore. I'm tracking nasty government and media people too. A bunch of corporate types. Awful guys, you know? Yeah, I get it. They're all terrible. I just think this hit list stuff is really unhealthy for you. Like, psychologically. It makes you really paranoid, and I'm worried that you... What? I just don't want to see you spiral into that dark place that got you started on this all over again. I'll be fine. I know I complained about shit, but I feel much better than I ever did. Everything has a purpose now. I don't need to struggle with my direction in life or what I'm trying to accomplish. Everything is fine. I'm feeling much better than ever. In the meantime, the shadowy visions in the corners of her field of vision are becoming an increasing presence, as we have seen from a number of chapters. That's great and all, and I know you're smarter than me, so sometimes I feel crazy pointing out stuff that sounds like really basic, but all these lists of people you keep, isn't that the kind of thing dictators do? Like, keep track of all the people they don't like who are expendable? That's a pretty melodramatic take. I'm not planning a mass purge of haters and antis if that's what you're asking. If only because most of these fucking maggots aren't worth the energy. Alright, if you say so, but I hope you don't mind if I keep just pulling back from all this in any way I can. I'll always be here for you, of course, but I've been considering just deactivating my social media accounts soon. Are you sure about that? No, it's just something I'm thinking about. To get a little more distanced from everything and keep myself sane. People will see it as a formal resignation from your position in the chain of command, though. Someone else would need to fill the void, and you're the only person I trust. I know that. I'm really wrestling with it. I want to keep supporting you. I just haven't decided what to do yet. Alright then. I'm gonna go piss while you think about it. Give K-Pop Monster my regards. While Abby talks to her new friend, who once named himself after a monster, you stare in the mirror at her old friend, who may be in the process of turning herself into one. So much crazy stuff is happening constantly, it can be easy to start feeling numb to it. But maybe it's a good idea to reflect on certain surreal truths now and then. Like how maybe it feels pretty messed up when your chill wine buddy has to sincerely offer cautionary remarks about turning into Joseph Stalin. That's ridiculous, of course. Yes, many revolutionaries, after tasting success, would hear the siren song of mass murder. But you know in your heart you are different. You've never been more sure that you're doing this for all the right reasons, and anyone who tried to convince you otherwise would probably regret it. I feel like being like, I'm not going to murder anyone, and then saying anyone who tried to convince me otherwise would probably regret it. I feel like those 2 points are counter to each other. Like, there's an implication there of what someone probably regretting it might mean. And it feels kind of like murder. Ah yes, and the aforementioned shadowy people. There's her dear departed mother again. Oh. My practicing mindfulness and reflecting. God. Are we sure it wasn't Joculine? I am 100% certain that was not Joculine because it looked exactly like the visions that Z was seeing of her mother in previous chapters. An urgent news article is blowing up on your phone. Nothing ever blows up on your phone unless it's highly relevant to your movement. The fans and key members of your organization are always the first to push the story hard, and it always makes you nervous when it happens. Big stories rarely feel like they contain good news for you. And this one is certainly no exception. The report says Abby's parents' mansion has just exploded. Both are presumed dead, but there is no official confirmation of their deaths. But you don't need confirmation. You know they're dead. Your people did this. There's no other explanation, and they wouldn't have done it if they weren't sure the targets were inside at the time. Joculine, you know, of course I wouldn't do that without your express permission. Oh, man, if Z hadn't already murdered her, it would be happening right fucking now. Holy shit. You feel sick. This was Joculine. It had to be her. The bitch greenlit those orders behind your back before she died. When she floated the idea with you, it wasn't a hypothetical. The orders were already out. Fuck! You're afraid to go back and talk to Abby. You have no idea how you can break this to her. In fact, you probably don't even need to. She must have seen it on her phone already. What do you say? How can you explain this? You tiptoe out of the bathroom. You take impossibly tiny footsteps back to the living room. Maybe if you walk slowly enough, you'll simply never arrive. Oh, honey. Hey, I'm sorry. I'll be okay. A part of me always sensed this day might come. It wasn't supposed to, though. It was Joculine. She mentioned something about it, but I had no idea she already put this into motion without telling me. And I guess I killed her before she had the chance to reverse the order. It's my fault. No, it's mine. I went along with it at the beginning and just kept going. I could have stopped it at any time, but I enjoyed it as much as you did. I finally felt like I was reclaiming part of my soul by ripping them off. The part of me that benefited from all their money at the expense of others. I thought if we could use their money to make a difference, it would make me feel better. But it went too far. All of this did. I mean, they weren't good people, though. Not helpful, Z. I know they weren't. It wasn't their fault, though. They just made too much money and spent too much time with the wrong people, listened to too much bullshit, and they were family. I didn't want this. Personally speaking, gonna keep digging that hole, Z? Okay. Personally speaking, I know this feels really heavy right now, but you get used to being free of your bad parents. I'm sure it'll feel liberating after you let some time go by. Z, I don't think that's a nice thing to say right now, but I'm too sad to be mad about it. Yeah, that's really fucked up, Z. Now is not the time for that. Z is an expert gravedigger. Yeah, that's certainly a way to put it. Yeah, like, I know she's speaking from experience, but, like, the moment after she gets the news is not the right time at all for that. And yes, also her parents were not killed in a political assassination. I have to deactivate my accounts. I'm sure you'll be able to find someone who isn't a backstabber to help you. I'll still follow you all the way, because I love you. But there are certain things I just can't do anymore. And off she goes. Oh. And the psychic damage meter goes down a chunk more. We're gonna bottom out in the last chapter. That's my feeling. I think that it's gonna bottom out in the final chapter, and then we'll get to see what happens when your psychic damage meter is entirely depleted. Wandering through to have a sit with David Hasselhoff. Like Mob Psycho 100. Hey, I actually understand what you mean by that, because literally earlier today, I read the synopsis for Mob Psycho 100 for the first time. So, very timely reference, at least for me. Ah. Full rage powers. Oh, speaking of rage. Here we are. The feeling of heartbreak leaves a void. Rage fills it quickly, as usual. At first, it's anger at yourself. You knew Jacqueline was a traitor, but you strung her along for an entire month, letting her play her games while you were biding your time, waiting for the right moment to put her down. If only you hadn't been so lenient. You could have pulled the trigger weeks earlier, before she had the chance to get carried away. Or you could have just shot her the day you found out about her treachery. But why should you be angry at yourself? She was the one who killed Abby's parents, and she was the one who canceled you. Beating yourself up for your leniency is just playing into the hands of people like this. It's letting them win. No, she's the one who deserves all your rage. Everyone like her deserves your rage, and maybe even more than just that. Maybe they all deserve what Jacqueline had coming as well. But you can't start thinking that way. You remember what Abby was telling you. about your hater list, about what that could lead to. You've already hurt her so much. You can't let yourself put her through more grief than she's already endured. You don't know how you'd be able to live with yourself if you destroyed her. Early in Chapter 9, psychic damage will hit 0. Don't know how I missed so many words in that message. Ah, that is your theory. Interesting, interesting. Fuck me up how Hussie used a large pixel face shape as a layer mask for tiny pixel clown makeup. Right. So you don't know how you'd be able to live with yourself if you destroyed her. You're exhausted. You tell yourself the same thing you've been telling yourself most nights while trying to get sleep. All these problems will probably seem less insane and unsolvable in the morning. You're never right, obviously, but you like to tell yourself anyway, like a comforting lullaby. Side note, the floor of a horse's barn? Fucking disgusting. Anyway, that's not really relevant. I just wanted to point that out. But yes, speaking of that lullaby, is dream self time. And this time you appear to be waking up on top of a small planet. Or maybe Z is large in the... Or maybe Z is very large and the planet is normal size. We don't know. I'm gonna wake up smelling like... No! Ew! Horse shit! You could have ended the sentence at horse shit! Yes, we're getting a whole cosmos. One could even say, maybe, a whole troubled cosmos. Yes, Riotous is a giant. Speaking of, Riotous. Yes? Don't go. We need to talk. Where would I go? As long as you feel driven to survive, I will always be with you. I mean, don't fuck off suddenly. I need more answers. No, I need help. I'm only unavailable the moment you wake up. Your time with me is only fleeting if you waste it. Kindly. I need to know if you're real. Or, I didn't know if you're real, or am I just losing it? If I were a figment of your imagination, couldn't I just answer yes, I am real? Your subconscious could insist on my reality through this lie and to continue tricking you. And if I were real, couldn't I simply lie about that as well to plant seeds of doubt in your head about the origin of the ideas you are sharing with the world? This just sounds like a fancy bullshit way of saying maybe I can't trust anything you say. But perhaps you can't. Didn't you already know that? Why are you asking me to confirm something to you? Why are you asking me to confirm something to you when you know the mere act of confirmation could be part of the deception? Wouldn't it be better to assume I'm real and ask me these important questions you have? Then after I answer, you're free to wake up and decide what value those answers have when making your next decision. That's not even half of the original, more cursed comment you were going to make? Jesus Christ. Should I know though? This dude is incredibly Doc Scratch. Ugh. Okay. Last time you were popping off about your, like, insane psychic imperialism. I was? Yeah. That's what you were hinting at. Then what's your question? I don't even know yet. I guess I'm just trying to confirm that's what's going on here, based on the presumption you're real. As I just explained, I can't even confirm I am real, let alone confirm what you just asked. But I can continue doing as I've done, which is to speak of certain possibilities. Like what? Such as the possibility that I was not even the first Jubilite, as your manifesto describes. Huh? Are you saying you aren't? I'm saying you should consider the possibility that I'm not. All of this, consider the possibilities. Yeah, it's very Doc Scratch. Dirk Strider and D. Clussy doing the fusion dance. Oh, right, this is the one with the psychic damage sword. Interesting theory. Gumblin from Whistles. I need to read Whistles eventually. I'm saying you should consider the possibility that I'm not. Consider that I was once a member of a race of people on a far-off planet which was not called Whimsify, and who had never heard of the Jubilites, or even had any particular affinity for clowns. Man, what the fuck? Also consider that I was visited in my dreams by a being that was self-described as the first Jubilite from a planet called Whimsify, and she told me everything I have told you. Eventually, she began telling me to consider even deeper truths about her reality. She began asking me to consider that she was not the first either. And then came the promises. Promises? Man, yeah, that was your thought too. Yeah, man, what the fuck is just such a perpetual mood. Promises? She promised glory, infamy, immortality. She promised a transcendence of the physical form, of attachment to my original planet and culture. She promised even that I would rise above everything I had accomplished with the conquest of my own world. She told me there was so much more to discover, if only I persevered and achieved absolute victory. So all of this stuff, I think, is what the interludes are referring to when they say only a true successor. So I think what he's describing is being a true successor. Are you telling me that's what's in store for me if I, like, win? I'm not telling you anything. I'm just asking you to consider it, just as she was. His own brain goes with lying to him about being cheap. That's true. I hadn't actually thought that far into it. But it could be the person who spoke to Riotous is the one who is speaking during the interludes, or it could be the original, actual first Jubilite of Whimsify, because Riotous is saying that the person that spoke to him is also not the true first. So that's a possibility. Okay, I think I get the game you're playing, and like weird verbal rules it has for some fucking reason. Whatever, I can play along. You already have been, and as I said before, you've been doing very well. So when she told you that stuff, hypothetically, what did you do? I continued doing what I was already doing, because regardless of where the ideas originated, I believed what I was doing for my world was right. But I continued with additional vigor. Because it was then that I began to believe I was becoming a crucial part of something which had great cosmic significance. It seems to me that I was assuming a place in a lineage of unfathomably consequential figures, which spans millions of years and billions of stars. I guess that's a sort of motivation, sure. It doesn't sound like the type of idea which motivates you, though. I don't know. It's a fucking lot. That is a perfectly reasonable stance. And it is why my predecessor felt it was important to leave the truth of herself as speculative, and why I am doing so with you as well. Because there is no motivation which can truly substitute the feeling of conviction that what you are doing is right. Powerful statement. And that sense must come from within you, not from fairy tales of space and infamy. Well, I do think what I'm doing is right, but it's also really hard, and it's fucking up my relationship, and it's fucking up my friendship, and making me fucking sad all the time. I didn't say it was easy. In fact, I'm telling you it's the opposite, just as my predecessor told me. But it sounds like she lit a fire under your ass all the same. When she told you all the stuff, didn't you say you did it with, like, extra vigor? Yes. What does that even mean? It means I was brutal. Is this not what you wanted to hear? It sounds fucked up. And it sounds like what I'm already worried about. And what Abby's really worried about. And I don't think I can hurt her anymore. I remember what it was like to have mortal concerns like these. I feel nothing but sympathy for what you're experiencing, but these are very small matters compared to the grand scale we are discussing, you must understand. Sounds like you're trying to convince me to be more hardcore about this, but trust me, dude, I'm already there. You really aren't. Man, I made fucking lists, and I just shot a girl today, and she killed Abby's parents, and I am not lecturing you. I am actually paying you a compliment. You have come so much further than I did in a much shorter period of time. How long did it take you? It took me many years to crush all forces of opposition on my planet. The lives lost were countless. You have spent only months pursuing your mission, and yet, incredibly, you are on the precipice of total victory. I am? The fact that success is so nearly within your grasp may not be obvious to you, but it is very clear to me. So, if what I'm hearing is right, you've been coming in my dreams basically to finally tell me how much better at this I am than you? That is not inaccurate. But it is also foolish to be overconfident, and even more foolish to assume the level of brutality you've already inflicted will be remotely sufficient for completing your mission. Withdrawing now from your instincts for survival and the violence that flows from it naturally would be a great mistake. I don't know if Abby thinks I should just delete these lists. She's not the supreme honk effects. You are. I know. So he gives you a very strong sense of, like, Z is the archetypal, driven, vengeful, angry person on this earth, unless they are a true chosen one. There were so many who opposed me, too. Their methods and motivations are always the same. Ridicule, jealousy, conniving, greed, lust for your power. They will all try to kill you eventually, I promise. So I should, you remember why you wrote your lists originally, don't you? Yeah. Don't you remember what they did to deserve it? There is nothing else for me to say, because you already know this as well as I. The moment you wrote down their names, they were already dead. Ah! Okay, so that was a lot at once. That was a lot at once. That line hit me so fucking hard too. I was like, no, they're not gonna do it. The third use of this pose. This is just Z's, like, shocked back to consciousness pose, I guess. You wake up and it's still nighttime. How long were you out? That couldn't have been more than a few hours. The dream was the most intense you ever had. So intense you're bleeding somehow. And you've been gripping your phone so tight your hand hurts. What the? Antis.xls. It appears your entire hater list has been copied into a text message addressed to Ring 3. Did you do this in your sleep? They've responded with understandable confusion. They're wondering what the purpose of this list is and what you want them to do. But you know there's only one possible reason you would have dropped this list here, unconsciously or otherwise. Understanding the correct moral choice is rarely that hard. You usually have more than enough information available to decide. A good friend who loves you, a girl who's done everything in her power to keep you from going astray. And offered as collateral was her heart, which would shatter if you fell too far. But there are other factors to consider. Factors which all good sense and the hearts of our loved ones have rarely been able to compete with. There is the factor of inevitability. Your vision was inevitable. The sledgehammer it's taken to the capitalist order of this planet was inevitable. And what is perhaps also inevitable is your wrath. As Riot has rightly pointed out, those people brought this upon themselves. The moment they spoke your name with a sense of spite, they should have known they were speaking a suicidal curse, inviting this inevitability into their lives someday. Inevitability is defined by the forces which try to stop it. Its strength is measured by everything that gets in its way, only to be crushed. The power of a nation, the heart of a friend, and even the conscience of the host, or that is to say, the vessel meant to deliver the unstoppable. Your conscience can make you bleed through the nose and turn your knuckles white to put up a fight against the inevitable. But just like every single one of these miserable fucking rats, it never even stood a chance. Oh my god. End of chapter 7. Yeah, god, that visual of Z's, like, face with all of the fucking, like, zoom in effect and the JPEG artifact and the glow effect and, like, Z's having a normal one. Oh my god. All of that stuff, but, like, being like, yeah, that's bad, but, like, I'm not like that, you know? But it... Oh my god. Oh. Like, I don't even, like, god, like, that, it's like, yeah, bad decision engine, yeah, holy shit, like, one stinky pep talk from her brain, just her brain goes, and she was like, oh, never mind, I choose violence. Yeah, one stinky pep talk from her jester brain ghost, and she was like, oh, never mind, I choose genocide. Like, because that's the impression of how long this, you know, this list has gotten. Oh my god. Oh my god. Didn't she only have like 100 people on there originally? I think like very, 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 very early on. But that was like within the first week or two of launching the Jubilite manifesto, I think. Yeah, like they kept updating it. That's the thing, is that like, and that's what they were, you know, talking about with Abby, is that they were adding more and more names to this like watch list, like hit list. One of the antis is going to be the entire U.S. military. National politicide? Yeah, I mean, like, I guess we could argue semantics of whether or not genocide is quite the right word, but like mass murder, just as an overarching term, probably fits. Oh god. So on a lighter note, let's look at some funny names. Let's look at some funny names. God. We gotta wait 2 fucking weeks for the next chapter, y'all. Day 138. By my estimation, Gordon, we have killed the entire U.S. military. Okay. So we got Ring 3 Second Wave. Those are the only new characters from this chapter, but we got Ring 3 Second Wave. Happy 413. Next chapter of Psycholonials, 413. So hiatus isn't his own 9-chapter novel. I mean, I think that taking a break in the schedule is not necessarily a bad thing. Yeah, I think it's good. But it had to end on 420. Should finally buy the game for yourself. Yeah, if you would like to toss your support in. Yes, conveniently exactly 1 week after the Homestuck day. Okay, so our new friends. Max Sassafras. Gobsmack Fauntleroy. That could probably be pronounced a lot of ways. Ganderzap Casserole. I love Ganderzap Casserole. Ganderzap Casserole looks like a cross between a knight and a page. In terms of, like, dress. And maybe a little bit of, like, Problem Sleuth Elf vibes happening, too. I don't know why that's just occurring to me now, but I'm kind of feeling it. Oh yeah, he could have done it later and had no gaps, yeah. Long lost McElroy. I mean, it could be Fauntleroy, or Fauntleroy, or I feel like those are the only 2 pronunciations that are occurring to me at the moment. But it's just Justin's clown soda. But yeah, Fauntleroy. Ganderzap Casserole. Leroy, that's sending you. Yeah, it could be Font Leroy. If you want to funk it up. We got Queen Kerfuffle. Taking a little scroll down to the bottom. Turtle Burger. Turtle Burger, as a name, has like it's like the vibes of the name Spaghetti Feet, but turned up to like 30, and I love it. Living for it. Turtle Burger. Teaspoon McMuffin. I really enjoy their hair. And Tablespoon McNugget. Teaspoon McMuffin and Tablespoon McNugget. So, like, there is something relational happening there. Could be just best friends. Could be some familial relation. Could be romantic relationship. Who the fuck knows? But they were like, we're in this together. Double paint. God. Well, they just get the fun benefit of being able to add color. Because Juggalo face paint is black and white, but Jubilite face paint is like got the whole fucking rainbow. Top and bottom of the pyramid too. Oh yeah. We got clown gender boy and horse gender boy. These two. Teaspoon McMuffin and Tablespoon McNugget. Put in the awkward position of saying tea and table are either lovers or siblings. Either, yes. And our favorite little character in the background, the anime shirt, Daffodil Fettuccine. Yep. Daffodil Fettuccine. Good vibes. I like those vibes. Mm-hmm. So, oh, 12:59. We are right on the dot. Mwah. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, buying that's a big question. There's too many clowns. God. Okay. So, closing remarks for tonight. Okay, the next time we speak will be after my course is finished. I think right now I'm gonna decide, so there's no streams next week. Because there's no new chapter of Psycholonials, and I'm still... That's the final fucking stretch, y'all. Fuck me up. And the week after that, by the weekend, I should be completely finished with all of my coursework and done for 3 weeks. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it though still to just Psycholonials on Saturday that week, because my last class is Wednesday that week, but my final assignment is due on Friday of that week. So I'm gonna give myself that day to just not have to worry about streaming, finish that assignment, and fucking go to bed. So, yeah. But the following week, okay? Because, like, I really, maybe I'll see how I'm feeling that Friday. I'll keep Psycholonials to Saturday, but if I'm feeling it, and if I'm finished the assignment in time, Homestuck reread returning Friday. Maybe we'll keep ya posted on that, because it's 4/13. It's 4/13 week, you know? I really want to celebrate. Or, like, I really want to do something Homestuck that week, because it's 4/13 week. But, yeah. So we'll say tentatively Homestuck Reread Friday, definitely Psycholonial Saturday. And that is 2 weeks from now. I will be seeing you all on the other side. Much appreciation for all of the wishes of good luck with finishing my terms. Finishing my terms, singular. Getting your vaccine on 4/20? Fuck yeah! Ontario vaccine rollout has been, like, weird, and the systems have not, like the booking systems and stuff were just, like, not prepared for the load of people using them and such, and, like, the rollout it's like kind of confusing, but, like, I am fairly certain that I qualify as a high-risk individual, and I just need to get the, like, paperwork and the clearance from my specialist, which I have an appointment with this month. Basically, just for him to say, first of all, yes, this person is high risk. Second of all, yes, it is safe for them to take this vaccine. And then I should be able to book at some point. So, second dose, nice. Yeah. Random online appointment, like a local grocery. No dice. Then you asked your primary care doctor, and he was like, "Oh yeah, here." Sick. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that's a thing, and yeah, y'all talk about getting second doses. Canadian government was like, they decided that we're gonna spread out the second doses so that more people can get the first dose faster. So, yeah, we're doing second dose like fucking 3 months out. But yes, hopefully I'll get that first dose of that sweet juice soon. And hopefully my dad will too. He's technically qualified by the age group. But we had trouble getting into the system. The moment that more appointment slots opened up, they were just like gone immediately. So, but hopefully we can get him in soon too, because he is qualified now, and my mom will be soon as well. Yeah, it is weird. I think the logic behind it, the logic behind it is that you get 80% of the coverage you're going to get from the vaccine from the first dose. So by having people get the second dose later, they're not having to, they're able to give more people the first dose more immediately, is the idea. You didn't know they could be delayed? It makes me nervous because I have yet to see, like, I mean, like, granted, I also haven't just fucking Googled it for myself, and I probably should. But I have yet to see, like, if there's been any studies done on delaying the dose like this, and it's any differences in efficiency or anything like that. So it does make me nervous. Just a little. But yeah, that's how we're doing it here. Yours was auto-scheduled for 3 weeks out. Yeah, I mean, like, well, I know someone who works in healthcare who had their second dose scheduled for that 3 weeks out. But then when they made this decision to change it to the 3 months out, they got, like, notified that their second dose appointment was canceled and that they'd be given another date in 3 months. So, yeah. There are, like, early rollout was doing the recommended 3-week thing. But yeah. You're from US. Yeah. Oh yes, and I am in Canada. If anyone is listening to this and does not know where I am in Canada. And that is Canadian vaccine rollout stuff. When will Z be canceled? Bringing it back to the relevant thing that we're looking at today, Psycholonials. We'll just have to wait and see what the fuck's happening with Z in this next chapter. And distraction. Yes, and distraction. I need to go. I'm fucking hungry. I need to eat something and then get back to this project. I've spent the last 2 days. When I say 2 days, I'm including today as the second day. What's it called? I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, the last 2 days working on completing a project that was supposed to be done incrementally, like a little bit each week, but like, who the fuck has time for that when every other deadline is screaming at your face? So, I need to finish that tonight and just like, finish it and like hand everything in and just be fucking done with it. So it can be like completely off my plate because I have 2 presentations on Tuesday. Boy. And I haven't started working on either of them. So I have all of the research, I just need to actually prepare the presentation stuff, so that's a thing. But yes, you don't think healthcare workers should be having their vaccines delayed? Yeah, I don't feel great about that either. Not just that, I also don't feel great about that. Thank you for good lucks and good nights. Good night to all of you as well. Yes, I will stretch, I will hydrate, I will raise my shoulders and sit tall. Thanks so much for coming and hanging out and participating and good talks. Yeah, I will see you all in 2 weeks on the other side. Once all of the school stuff is done and the next chapter's out and it's fucking Homestuck Day and shit. Have a wonderful, lovely 2 weeks as best as you can. I hope that the next 2 weeks treats you all well. And I will see you around. Good night.